Welcome everybody, we are live on the Donkey Bop Racing Network, 12 hours of Sebring. We have got 6 Donkey Bop Racing Chevrolet C7 Corvette prototypes all in the same split. Fix that audio. C7 Corvette prototypes all in the same split. Fix that audio. Alright, that should be a little bit better. Might have heard me twice there, I'm not sure. We are in practice here at Sebring. We were watching JF Godin in the 002 car, taking some practice laps. Let's check out our other cars here. Looks like the 001 is not on the track. Try to refresh the paints here. There we have the 001 car. It's going to be a 2-car team, Carlos Plaza and Stephen Jones. Get you a little information on these drivers, 1 second. So yeah, this is Stephen Jones driving the 001 car. His teammate today will be Carlos Plaza, or his car mate, I should say. We're all teammates here at Donkey Bob Racing. 6 cars. Some great paints here, by the way, by JF Godin. Thanks, JF, for the awesome paints. They're going to know we're here today for sure. So that is the 001 car, 2-car team, Stephen Jones from the UK, and Carlos Plaza from the United States. And in the 2-car, another 2-car team will be JF Godin from Canada and Zachary Robinson from the US. Driving the 3-car, another 2-car team will be Larry Krupp and the man who works it all here, Jim Ray. Nice looking car there. And in the 4-car here we have a 3-car team. We have Shad Curran from the United States. We have Jason Glaze, who is also from the United States, and Tom Newman Morris from the UK. And there's the 5-car. I'll be sharing that car myself. I'm from the United States, with Greg Bernardo, also from the United States, and Danny Noventa from Italy. And I believe Danny is from Italy, although right now he's residing in Dubai for work purposes, at least that's the last I knew. And we'll be driving the 5-car today, 005. And last but certainly not least, we have the 6-car with Jerry Jerry Forkolb, or F. Jerry as we like to call him, and the man himself, Milt Minter Jr. They're both from the United States. Milt brings along the Associate Buzzweiser sponsorship for the day.
Or gold.
Ah, there you go. Thank you. Kenny Paul stepped into the booth. How are you doing today, Kenny?
I'm doing great, Ken.
Awesome. Good to see you. Kenny won't be running with us today. He's an incredible, valuable teammate, though. Does all kinds of stuff with our spreadsheets and keeping track of races and helping us out with stuff like that. And also a hell of a driver when he's driving.
Yeah, thank you. I've been haven't been in the seat for a few races, but I've been doing a lot of spotting for Bathurst and last year, and at Daytona, and I'll be doing a little bit more work here for Sebring. Love this track. We actually I was part of the team that won this race in our split last year, so that was pretty good.
Yeah. Hell of a job you guys did on that, for sure. Nice one. Crazy that we have all 6 cars in the same split here. Wow.
That's amazing. It's really a testament to the work that Jim puts into helping us align all of our numbers and make sure that we're good to go. I was in the other channel, and there's already people in the race channel saying, you know, oh my God, look at all of these Donkey Bob cars in the same split. This is incredible.
I see that in the chat right now, in the text chat I pulled up here on the screen. Good times.
One of the things I don't know if you mentioned before, Um, but there is an anomaly on the track on the front straight near the start-finish line where if you get close to the wall at all, it will catch the car. We've seen it in practice, and I'm anticipating that on the first few laps you're going to see quite a few people that aren't familiar with that particular track anomaly that are going to be getting caught by that. So be looking for cars flipping on the front straight.
Yeah, that could definitely cause some problems here at the start. Going to be crazy enough as it is.
I think this is the first time I've been in the booth just to actually sit and chat rather than do a damage or a status report.
That's a nice switch, right?
It is a nice switch. I'm looking at you commented on what was in the chat on the track, and so somebody was asking if all the Donkey Bop drivers were just bots.
Nope, far from it.
Far from it. Far from it. I've been sim racing since I think 2001, 2001, somewhere in there. And I've been in a lot of leagues and a lot of teams, and I got to say that this group is by far the finest group of drivers that I've ever been with. The mutual respect everybody has for each other, and just the level of teamwork is phenomenal. Well, looks like we're starting to grid.
Sure does. I'm going to jump down to the team channel for a second here.
Okay.
Channel switched.
All right, good luck, man. Go get him, Danny.
Yeah, I did my best.
One to go. Right side on the
Channel
restart.
switched.
Pits are closed.
So the 005 Donkey Bop Racing 5 sitting on the front row.
Wow, I see that.
Starting sixth will be the 001 car. Donkey Bop 002 is starting seventh. The 04 is 11th. And looks like the 6 is starting in 16th place. They're starting to roll out. $54 cars in the split. Take a quick peek and see how many splits there are.
Bear with us here if there's a little bit of jitteriness in the beginning. There's a lot of cars in the frame. Might get a little bit of lag in the broadcast.
Looks like you'll be lining
Wow,
up
a lot of
behind
cars
the
are blinking.
car.
A lot of
That's
cars.
not us, though. So I had some really nice graphic stuff I had been working on, editing a little program I found all week. Except I forgot to test to see if it works with OBS, and it doesn't. I found that out about 1 in the morning last night. So we're just going to have the regular iRacing stuff.
Alright, looks like you're going to be be lining up behind the pace car.
Like there's 14 splits for this race. Now, a split is there's so many people around the globe that are racing.
Behind pace car.
Can't get everybody in the same race, so they will carve the races up. And as I said, there's 54 cars in this race, so you've got 14 races with 54 cars in them going right now.
Wow, we have all Corvettes in this race, I wonder. No, oh no, they just split them up, that's right.
Yeah, they just split them up. So the Corvettes will be starting fast, and the GT cars will be starting behind.
Line up behind the pace car. Line up behind the pace car.
Nice mix of cars.
I'm running off my laptop today rather than my race rig, so I have a very limited visibility in terms of the number of cars I've got played here, Ken. So.
All right, looks like you're going to be lining up behind the pace car.
You're
going to be lining up behind the pace car.
You could be reporting on things that I'm not seeing.
No worries. Yeah, with 6 cars, it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Get those tires cleaned off, bud.
To keep an eye on stuff.
Good start here. Get behind the pace car. Green flag.
Green flag.
Road is open. Left side. Clear. Left side. Clear, clear, clear.
All right, clean through the first turn. You got Danny holding down.
Sprung out very nicely already. Let's see what happens when they get up here to the hairpin. Almost a little contact there with the O2 car, but the guy kept it off of him.
Minute 1.434.
One completed. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is split 4 of 14, so this is one of the upper splits.
Wow.
If so, it really explains why that first lap was so clean, at least up front.
Yeah, very good point. People that realize this race is 12 hours. Not going to win anything on the first lap, except a trip to the garage.
Trip to the garage.
All right, so we're currently holding down P3 in the 005 car. Danny DeVenta at the wheel. And P6, JF Godin in the 002 car. Right behind him, Carlos Plaza in the 001 car in P7. Right behind him, Tom Newman Norris in the 004 P9.
On your left. All clear.
And Danny almost with a little incident there.
Right side. Still there. Still there. Clear, clear, clear.
Might turn my spotter off because that's going to spot for that car no matter what car we're looking at. Because I'm driving it later.
1 minute 57.777. Left side.
Things getting a little crazy here.
So in this split that we're in, I mentioned that we've got 54 cars, with a total of 131 drivers registered thus far, and we'll see that number change throughout the day as new drivers come in for relief that may not be connected to the session right now. But this is a big undertaking, these endurance races. A lot of people will sit and think that this, oh, it's a game. You kind of, there's not much that goes into it. You just sit down and drive. There's a lot more than that, and it's clearly visible if you're watching the level of racing that we're seeing here. It's very, very good. Right now, I'm back watching the 002 and the 001, and getting a little bit of pressure here. From, where are we at here? Like from the 27 car. Carlos went out into the dirt a little bit, coming out of turn 1.
Missing a car. There's the 6 car. Look where we're at. There's our leader jumping out to a bit of a gap.
Now that's the IMSA Community Discord team. But right off the start, they Started putting a lot of space between the field. Oh, got car around. Back here, I'm watching. Was watching the 00 4 and the 001.
Oh, yeah. 4 car looks like he's in trouble. Let's go back and see what happened. Looks like a little off the curb there, and yeah, just 3 cars ran out of room. Doesn't look like there should be any big damage, but I guess he did go to the pits. This is odd. It says Peter Ross and Donkey Bob Racing 4.
Yeah, I've seen that happen occasionally until they cross the start-finish line, and then it'll update.
In the pits, it looks like. Getting some repairs.
Oh, it looks like Tom. His throughput, was he in the car at the start?
Yeah, he was driving when that happened.
Yeah, he dropped out. He had network issues.
Oh, no.
And that's the 004 car. So I would assume that Jason's going to be hopping into that car to take it over here.
Okay, now it says Danny's in the 4 car. I think we have confused iRacing with 6 cars in the same split. Doesn't know what to do with all these donkeys.
Okay, Tom's reconnected now. Here's one of the challenges of internet racing. Just the standard anomalies that you might get. drops connections and things like that. From the perspective of the teams and the drivers, this is just another, you have to look at it as a mechanical failure. Here, and there's a number of people that have been disconnected and reconnected. Looking at the names, I'm thinking that this is an overseas link having problems.
Yep, could be.
Yes, I think we've definitely confused it. It says that Milt's in the 4 right now. Okay, Tom is back in the car in the number 4 now. Another one of the things that happens is when the Greg just got disconnected.
What car are they in?
One moment.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Yeah. 5. He's in the 5 car. And he was not driving. Danny's driving right now. So.
Okay. That's what caught me. I was like, phew.
As I had started to say, one of the things that happens is when these get disconnected, oftentimes it's the equivalent of crashing the car. So besides the time lost from what would be considered a mechanical failure, you generally have a lot of damage that needs to be repaired because as the car will have lost its telemetry and gone into the rail or something. So disconnects are a bad thing. But that said, we have come back from disconnects to podium finishes, so it's not necessarily a killer.
Taking a quick look back through the field here, we've got GTE cars also, and GT3 as well. Looking at the class standings. Looks like the 004 is 3 laps down, still in the pits. Long race, they'll be back.
another aspect of these endurance events is that there is a required, what they call the driver's share, in terms of how much time somebody spends in the cockpit. You can't have somebody that runs 3/4 of the race and then somebody that comes in and just finishes it off. Basically, it's designed that way to keep people from coming in and you've got a ringer that starts the race and a ringer that closes the race. So it is not uncommon to see people that end up at the end of the race disqualified because they did not have the drivers sharing an equal percentage of the drive time. It doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be divided up where, let's say if you have 3 drivers, at least all of them have to have done a third of the race. But that is even. Okay, never mind. I don't do math well.
You could have fooled me.
My son's the math whiz. I unfortunately am not. But that's why I have spreadsheets.
Well, you do a great job with them, so yeah, you're doing something right. Danny holding down P4. Looks like we're catching up some lap traffic here. Getting by a Mercedes GT3 car. And Carlos a couple spots back. Milt Minner Jr. Milt didn't have nearly as much track time as he would have liked to this week. His work schedule is tough, going all over the place. But like I told him last night in practice, it's not his first rodeo. He'll be fine with a few laps under his belt.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this is one of Milt's favorite tracks.
Tom Newman Morris with a little lap traffic action. Tricky part of the track right there. So yeah, that's the 4 car that was in the pits. They are back out. And 5 laps down. Larry Krupp in P11 cruising along. And JF Godin right behind him, P12. Carlos Plaza P5.
I can already see the track darkening up. This is a very, very rough track. It'll beat the tar out of the cars and the drivers. It's built on an old military base. It was mostly set up on the runways, taxiways. But there are very, very rough sections of the track. One of the worst being the final turn. That whole thing is like you're running across rumble strips, it feels like.
Yeah, we're going to take a ride with Tom Newman Morris through that part of the track right now as he's trying to get around a GTE car, so this will be fun. Got Martin, okay. So, yeah, right about here, start moving.
Listen to the driver chat. Got a little heated conversation going. The incident that took place. I don't know what it was, but some unhappy people.
Connection issues or on-track stuff, could you tell?
On track, one person was saying it was netcode, and the other person was saying no way. Netcode basically being where the telemetry is different between the two players, and there are times when you can actually drive right through somebody, and both cars are fine because some packets were lost or something. It's rare, but when it does happen, it causes some very odd behavior. Or very bad behavior, depending on the situation. I think it was the 24 Hours of Spa 2 years ago, which was actually the first endurance race that I participated in. It might have been yours, too.
It was,
and, yeah, that was after years of Jim saying, Kenny, you got to come try this. I was an oval track guy, dedicated oval track guy, and hated road courses. Jim convinced me to get into that race, and once I did, I was hooked. The team aspect of it was really appealing to me. But I think it was in that race that might have passed halfway through a car with a netcode issue and just kept going. It's scary when it happens.
Yeah, I have a similar story. Definitely oval track guy my whole life. I mean, my whole life since I was like 12, and I'm 51 now. But I got iRacing, to check out the oval stuff, and then watched the rest of these guys running the Daytona 24 one day, and I was like, wow, I have to do this. And never really looked back. I'm mostly an old road racing guy now, as far as iRacing goes.
You mentioned you're 51. I'm 55. And we've certainly got younger drivers on the team. It's a nice mix of young guns and graybeards that we've got as part of Donkey Bob. and it helps provide for a really balanced team, and you know, calming some of the other folks down, or providing expertise, or just support across the board. I've had some of the younger drivers be real supportive of me when I'm having a difficult time, help me out in terms of, you know, how to take a corner, or how to get more speed in a particular part of the track. And on the flip side, we've had you know, some guys that are getting very agitated and very upset, where you're able to calm them down. So this is the beauty of this, is age is not necessarily a factor in online racing, because your body's not taking the same level of punishment that it does in a real car.
Well, when your racing rig is fired up, I don't know, you do get some pretty rough rides. In fact, I remember watching a video you took of yourself running at this track to demonstrate the bumps, and yeah, quite a beating.
Yeah, it's nothing like nothing close to what it would be in a real car. But I have a full motion rig that I race in, and this track is very bumpy. And yeah, last year or the year before, I made a recording of a couple laps of this track, and it is rough. I actually just rebuilt my whole rig from scratch, which is one of the reasons that I'm not in the seat today, because it's not finished, but it'll be ready to go for a Nürburgring, 24-hour race there. Now that's a grueling track.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, this one, although it's not very long, I find it to demand a lot of concentration compared to some other tracks. There really aren't many places, maybe one or two, that you can kind of just breathe for a second and think about anything besides hitting your next apex. It takes a toll on you. I tend to grit my teeth driving this track more than any other. I'm not sure why. I just noticed it during practice. Like, wow. Stop gritting your teeth.
Interesting that you say that, because I kind of feel the same way. Even though there's some long straights here, this is a very, very demanding track. 2 seconds of inattention at the speeds you tend to run here, and you're in trouble. Nürburgring, on the other hand, is turn. I think there's, what, 47 turns on that track or something? More than that.
I want to say it's in the hundreds, the long version.
But it's
User joined your channel.
It's a different beast for sure. Well, looks like Greg's joined us.
User joined your channel.
Hey guys.
Hey, Greg Bernardo,
man.
Jim Ray, welcome guys.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Jim.
How's it going up here in the booth?
Fantastic. Hell of a job getting us all in the same split. Unbelievable.
Yes, sir. I have peaked. It worked to a T, at least for iRacing. We're being consistent on the averages for the iRating, getting us in there. Yeah, it was awesome. Very happy with that. 3 cars still clean. Larry got it stopped in time, just stayed right in front of the tire barrier once after an off, but still clean, running 11th. How's everybody else?
Pretty good. Looked like Tom got disconnected. And currently they're 5 laps down, but still running.
Yeah, I was listening on TeamSpeak. They had a car went off the track, came back on, and as he went around, it did something weird, and so after the wreck, he had some sort of disconnect.
Taking my dick in my pants.
Oh,
User
someone's in the
was
chat.
moved out of your channel. User joined your channel.
I give her DCMA.
User in your channel was.
Sorry about that. No password on this. Let me put it on right now.
That scared the heck out of me.
Yeah, that was different.
Your channel was edited.
Just never know what's going to happen in these races.
You don't. Back to the live action. Passwords in TeamSpeak. Got to get back in there. Thanks for doing this, guys. We'll look at it later. Thanks.
You got it, Jim. Good luck.
Thanks, bud.
Take care, boss.
User left your channel.
Carlos cruising along on P2 still. Working his way through some traffic.
Hey, wake up.
Alright, I'm going to run over to the team channel for a second here. Grab that.
Yeah, me too, Ken.
Channel switched. User joined your channel.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm having some graphics issues. Seems to be okay right now, but I was having some control issues too, not being able to exit the car. So I just want you standing by just in case I can't do something.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay.
Doing great, Danny. You got about 10 laps for pitting.
Alright, yeah, so I'll just make sure I'm ready just in case at the time of the driver change.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Maybe it's just all the latency we seem to be seeing.
Yeah, it could be.
Alright, I'll be back. Keep it up, Danny. Good job. Now I have to go get the password. We threw a password on the broadcast channel. Someone jumped in there.
Yeah, let me know what it is too.
Jim said it's in the forum, but I don't see it. See it. I'll poke. Alright, Greg, password is RACE, R-A-C-E.
Channel switched.
And
Did
I'm
you
back.
find yourself locked out?
Yep, absolutely. I was like, damn. Yeah, Yeah, Greg let me know he's having a little bit of graphics issue. Everything seems fine now, and then he even had a little trouble getting in and out of the car. Might have to do with the connection stuff we're kind of seeing. But I just need to be ready to jump in when they do their driver change in case Greg has trouble. But still got some time here, no worries. Driver changes are coming up. Or I should say pit stops are coming up. Generally, teams here will run, driver will do 2 fuel runs. We have a couple cars doing 3 fuel runs per driver here and there, but generally it's 2, which comes out to about an hour and 45 minutes, I believe, total.
Were you guys getting 20, an average of 26 a tank, 26 laps?
I think 26 would be awesome. I think most of us were getting 25. I've been getting 26, but generally 25.
Well, a lot of that'll depends on the driver's particular style. I am not one of the faster drivers on the team. I usually end up getting an extra lap out of a tank than a lot of the folks. Jim Ray, on the other hand, seems like he generally ends up getting a lap less a tank.
Yeah, I tend to see that. All about where you lift, stuff like that. Sometimes it seems backwards to me because I know Jim is pretty good at not overdriving, so he's off the gas sooner, but I guess he's on the gas that much sooner, which is kind of the whole point. So that makes sense, I guess.
Just a quick status on Donkey Bop Racing. The 001 is currently running second. The 002 is currently in 12th place. 003 is 11th. 004 is 5 laps down, currently in 50th place. And that was a result of the disconnect following that accident that Tom Newman Morris had. The 005 Donkey Bop is running 6th, and the 006 Donkey Bop is running in 14th position.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Looking at a gaggle of cars here. We've got 3 of our cars right in this group. Tom Newman Morris in the 4. JF in the 002 in the blue car.
See, these cars occasionally will be flashing the lights. That's basically to make sure that the car in front understands that they're there and that they are probably wanting to get by. Do that from time to time.
Yeah, can cause some confusion on the track too. For myself too, you know, coming from an oval background, or even, you know, a blue flag, let's say, on an oval, kind of means, you know, get out of the way, give the line to the car behind you, where in road racing, you're kind of expected to just hold your line for the most part and let the other cars work their way around you. So when you have people, some people trying to get out of the way and some people trying to hold their line, you're not really sure who's going to do what, can cause a mess. I guess it depends where on the track you are too, because there are some places where if you hold your line, there's no way the car behind you is going to get around you.
Yeah, and well, you were in the other channel. I was mentioning how the level of driving and changes as you go from a lower split to an upper split, in terms of the patience of the drivers, the experience, the situational awareness that each driver has. And there are times when you're on a race like this that there are places that you just couldn't pass. It's like, you know, give it a second and then you can get around. And it's like the hairpin. You might pass coming out of the hairpin, but you don't want to dive somebody going into the corner, because that will generally cause a huge problem. There will always be somebody that will try to do that because they think it's, hey, I can get in under them and I'll get past. But if you literally wait less than half a second, you'll be through that. Take the outside line, inside line, and you'll see that in the lowest races, because everybody wants to be in exactly the same spot.
Taking a ride with JF Godin here. It gets kind of loud. I'm not sure if you guys can even hear me during this part, but here's some good action. Jumped up into Larry's car. See sand and pebbles just bouncing off the front of that C7. It's getting messy out there.
So we're lap 24.
Yeah, pit stops are beginning. I would think Danny might be pitting this time by. He's down to P5. Not sure what happened there.
Oh, I'm riding with Carlos. Almost lost it. Almost lost it. Great save. At this point, the tires are used up. And Carlos is heading into the pits.
There he is, pulling it in.
Got his pit limiter on.
A couple other team cars pulling in, looks like. And Carlos is away.
AF is pitting. As is Larry in front of him. One thing you might notice on the pits, if somebody is in the pit box, the enforcement of the physics, you get a bit of a pass on. You'll see cars pass through each other. And one of the reasons for that is it's really hard to simulate everything that would be going on in the pit. So that's one of the things that in the iRacing world where you do kind of get a pass that you wouldn't have in the physical world. Riding along with Larry at the moment.
Whoa. JF a little slideways there.
Yeah, once you get the new tires and they're cold, it's a bit tough. Going from memory because I haven't been in the car, but it seems like it was almost 3/4 of a lap before the tires would start getting tacky at all. Larry's really been sawing on the wheel. We've got basically all the team cars on the same pit sequence with the exception of the 004 as a result of that network disconnect. I'm not sure where they are, because they're currently on lap 22, coming up on lap 23. But they will have had a full tank of fuel as a result of going into the pits after the network issue and getting serviced.
There's our current class standings. One hour down, 11 to go.
I'm riding along with Tom. He's got a little bit of damage on the nose in the 004. It doesn't look to me like the car is handling well.
Yeah, we can see it there on the bottom. Carlos riding along in P2.
Okay, Tom is pitting.
Bunch of action here on the track. Larry and JF in the middle of a big pack. Getting through.
back out on the track. Heading into the hairpin now.
There's Milk getting into the groove.
Yeah, I'm looking there, a lap down, not sure what happened there. Gets past the GT cars. I don't know, were you riding along with Milt or?
Not in the car, but just watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see I was talking about patience earlier and finding the right place to pass on the track. That was a good example of that back there. You know, stuck in the middle of a bunch of GT cars, you just want to be patient and do the right thing rather than stick your nose in where it doesn't belong. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Let's go back there. Guess I went the wrong way. That was close. Excuse the shoddy camera work. That application I wanted to have working today would have let me click one button and it would have gone back 10 seconds and shown me the replay automatically. But maybe next time. There's Carlos cruising along in P2 still.
It's a good thing that the broadcast isn't coming from my laptop right now, because it's kind of like watching a race that's quite pixelated. It's a bit like watching Minecraft cars. almost got into some trouble there on the hairpin, but he's good.
Alright, Kenny, I'm gonna step away for a bit and do some stuff I gotta do just in case I have to get in the car here shortly. I can leave this on one car if you like, or we can sign off for a little while, no big deal either way.
Yeah, I think probably signing off would be good. I need to get on to a couple things here in the house, and then I'll be back to join you later today.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Thanks for coming by. Unexpected, very pleasant surprise. Kenny Paul, everybody, and I am Ken Soszka for Donkey Bopper Racing Network. We're going to sign off here for a while, and we will be back on. I can't say exactly what time. We'll definitely be on for the finish of the race, which will be this evening around 6 or 7 o'clock, and the race ends around 8:30 Eastern Time. If you'd like to know when we are going live, just subscribe on the YouTube channel, and you'll get a notification every time we go live. And
Thanks for watching.
Yep, thanks for watching. Catch you later, Kenny.
Bye-bye.